Hello everybody, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to take apart and change the battery or the screen in a Garmin Zumo. Let's see, what's the model number? 395LM. Garmin Zumo 395LM. This is a motorcycle GPS, so it's pretty sturdy and solid. It can take a fall, and basically it's designed to take some beating, especially if your bike or bicycle or motorcycle falls and the GPS falls down. It doesn't break easily. So just because it's designed to take a little bit of beating, it's also a little difficult to take apart. So here's how we do it. For this GPS, you need a star-shaped screwdriver, and let's see what size star-shaped screwdriver will work for this. So I have T5 and T6. Let me first look at the T5 and the T6. So the T6 is too big, so we need a T5 screwdriver, star-shaped, as you can see. We open the screws. It has all kinds of screws. Let me get a little container to put the screws in. You need a little container to put the screws in. And let's take this apart. We have all kinds of, let's see how many screws we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 screws, all kinds of screws all around this thing. It's not a very simple, or I should say easy to take apart type of GPS, because it's designed to be put together very solid and tough to survive a fall or a drop. And that's why you've got all kinds of screws all around it. So we have to have 10 screws out. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 screws still stuck. 6. Okay, 1 screw fell down, but that's okay. I will find it later. Actually, I found it. I found the screw which fell down. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 2 screws that are still inside. And there is one more here. Oh, there it is. And that's this one. And I believe I took everything out. All the holes are now empty, as you can see. No more screws. All right. Now we have to kind of take it apart, like opening a clamshell, like that. But you cannot apply too much pressure. You know why? Because look at that fragile cable underneath. That cable will break if you apply too much pressure. So you have to go very gently. And also, right here where we have the headphone jack, there is glue, silicone glue between the jack and the screen, which sometimes gets stuck. There you go. See this glue right here? That glue is there so that when you see, this is a waterproof GPS. So they have this glue here so that when water gets into the earphone jack, it doesn't get inside the GPS. Okay? So now we will open the screen. Let me show you how to open the screen. Once you get to this part, I'm going to zoom in. You see this little brown tab. That brown tab needs to open like this, like that. It's flat like this, and you have to open it like this. Okay, so let's open that. See how it opened? It's like that, and you have to open it like this. So our screen is released. This is our screen, and if we want to change the battery too, this is how you disengage the battery, like that. And then the battery itself is glued down here. Let me zoom out a little bit to show you. This battery is good, so I'm not going to replace it, but I'm going to show you how to take it out. You simply put a flat screwdriver on the side and simply pry it out like this, and you will see down below, you will see what I mean by the double-sided glue that it's just simply glued in there. See how this is sticky? You just stick it in there. You take the new battery, put it back in, push, apply pressure, and re-engage the cable right there. See that cable right there? This cable. This is how you take it out. Like that. See the other side? And this is how you put it back in. Like this. Okay. Now this needs to be taken apart further to disengage the screen from the screen frame. This is the screen frame. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. And luckily, or I should say incidentally, they're the same size. We're taking all these screws apart. The two screws that were closer to the ribbon cable, these two screws were shorter and black, as you can see, and you know, these two shorter and black ones, and the rest are silver color and longer. You need to remember that because that's how you put it back together. You see the waterproof lining there, rubber, that's all waterproof. So this is our screen, which we need to replace. The screen, this is the backing. The screen will come out of this, watch. Let me put the top camera, watch. There. So this is the actual screen that you will buy and replace with. Okay, so let me grab the new screen. Notice this new screen has a film that you need to peel off. So notice that. Okay, so we take the film off of the new screen. You must take it off first before you put it back in the place, because if you don't, then once you put it in the frame, the film cannot be taken out. So you have to take it out in advance. Okay, So now the film has been taken out. We bring back the frame and we put it back inside the frame. When you are putting it back inside the frame, you have to pay attention whether you put it this way or this way. Now, to make it easy, notice you have two bottom screws. That one doesn't match if you put it the wrong way. So these will only match if you put it the right way, which is this way. Otherwise these wouldn't match because these are too far away, and the distance between these two and these two are different. These are closer together, these are further away. See? Let me show you. There. See the distance there? And look at it here. Big difference. That's why it only goes in one way, so it's very hard to make a mistake. Now it's time to put back all the screws. Okay. These parts that I put back the screws, you may follow step by step, watch it how I put it back together, or if it's too boring you can fast forward this part and get to the next step, or you could pause the video and do what I do step by step and then follow along. Remember the two shorter screws, the two black ones, will go closer to the cable. Okay, all the screws are in. I have two more screws to go. I don't know where that thing came from. Okay, let's do. All right. All the screws are in place nice and neatly, and make sure all the cables are also in place nice and neatly. Make sure you didn't disconnect anything accidentally. This is the SD card reader, this is the earphone jack, and this is the cable that goes from the earphone jack to here. You want to make sure you don't disconnect that cable. Let me show you that from a closer distance. This cable goes to the earphone jack. This cable goes to the micro SD card reader, and you don't want to damage those. Okay, it's the moment of truth. We have to put this back in and then close this. Again, I have to zoom. This is a very critical one. I have to zoom in. So watch. See this, how this moves back and forth? Okay, you put it in the open position. You slide this in first. And then you close it. There you go. See that? You must make sure it's parallel. Like this distance is equal to this distance, parallel. And make sure it goes in all the way, not pushed in halfway. Okay? Before you put all the screws, you want to turn it on to make sure you put it correctly. Okay, I need to plug it in because it appears that the battery is not fully charged. So I'm going to plug it in to make sure I get it up and running. And voila, we got a brand new screen up and running without any issues. So we put it back together. Let me make sure I turn it off correctly. You can't just disconnect because it's booting, and then you could ruin the operating system if the unit is booting up and you just unplug it. It's always good to let it run its course. When it's on, then you turn it off the right way, and then okay, and agree. And now I turn it back off and unplug it, and I'm gonna put my screws. These screws are all the same size, so you don't have to worry. 10 screws goes all around. Just put them one by one. Again, you can fast forward this part if it's going to be boring for you. It's good to put two opposite sides so that it would level, so that it's not like one side is pushed in, the other side popping open like that. You don't want to do that. So put the opposite sides first diagonally. Let's put it here. I'll put it based on the camera I'm using. So now I'm gonna put this one because this camera is siding. Viewing the side view. Okay, everything seems to be good, nice and neat. So far so good. I haven't screwed up yet. The reason they have all these screws because these are waterproof, or I shouldn't say waterproof, water resistant, rain resistance. Like when it rains, inside the GPS water won't go in. You can't just dump it in the ocean and expect it to work. So it's not waterproof. This is water resistant, so that's why they have screws all around it to hold it tight, to hold the GPS tight, so it doesn't, it doesn't leak water, so to speak. And when you put this on its original cradle, even the port where you plug it in from is blocked, because this is where it gets its charge from. So even this port is blocked. Okay, seems like all the screws are in and all the screws are tight, and we have a successful surgery. Once again, we make sure we have power, and we do. All right. Okay, thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe.